If you listen closely to protesters in Cuba and Florida, you can hear people chanting patria y vida, translating to homeland and life. The chants reclaim a popular slogan from the Cuban Revolution, homeland or death. Protests in Cuba have been ongoing for years but re-emerged last week when thousands of Cubans marched to protest food and medicine shortages, power outages and some even calling for political change. But where did the slogan Patria y Vida come from? Cuban reggaeton musicians Alexander Delgado and Randy Malcolm of the duo Gente de Zona, Yotel Romero, member of the Cuban band Dorichos, and singer-songwriter Desamer Bueno. The group collaborated to release a song on video titled Patria y Vida in February, and they are not the only artists releasing music in support of Cuba and the protesters. Emilio Estefan, Cuban-American music producer and businessman, produced a new song Libertad or Freedom in English. Estefan said the song, sung by artists Yilnis Perez y Jonchan, was created to shed light on the conditions in Cuba and support protesters. It's more than just a song or lyrics, it's an outcry and it's all about freedom. Freedom for Cubans, Estefan told USA Today. Demonstrators around the world show solidarity with anti-government protesters in Cuba. Miami rally supports protests in Cuba. So what is the meaning behind these songs and why are protesters chanting them in the streets? Here's a breakdown below. Patria y Vida. The song not only reclaims the Cuban Revolution slogan homeland or death, it highlights the difficult conditions Cubans are currently living in. Cuban-American and activist Angelique Diaz said the song represents a new generation of Cubans ready to fight back with lyrics such as, Patria y Vida refutes the idea that Cuba is a paradise and addresses food shortages and poverty in the country. Varadero is a popular tourist location, and Diaz said it's often used to project a pretty image of life in Cuba, which isn't accurate. In the past, most images of Cuba showed the parts only open and given to tourists. It's not the reality in Cuba. Food rations and poverty is, Diaz told USA Today. The song ends with the lyrics about those who were detained by the Cuban government, including Anamli Ramos and Omar Ruiz Urquiola. Ramos was detained and harassed by the government for writing poems demanding freedom for other detained, according to the International Service for Human Rights, while Urquiola was beaten and detained by police during a peaceful protest in Cuba, according to the ISHR. The music video has garnered over 7 million views and continues to be chanted in protests both in Cuba and Florida. Libertad. Estefan, in collaboration with the Foundation for Human Rights in Cuba, a non-profit group, released the music video to Libertad Tuesday. However, Estefan, born in Cuba, said they've been working on the video for months. In May, the video was shot in Cuba, with individual people capturing footage in secret to avoid repercussions from the government, Estefan told USA Today. For the first time in over 60 years, thanks to technology, people are able to see what's really happening in Cuba. So we knew now is the time to use this video to spread more support and awareness, Estefan said. The song is about freedom, not politics. Throughout the song, images of Cuban people in their homes, in protests and fighting in the street are played. Lyrics mention silence is the enemy of liberty and every human being deserves freedom. The song also references the Cuban government using force to silence people. The song includes voices shouting Libertad and the names Pedro Luis Boydell and Orlando Zapata Tamayo. Both are Cuban activists went on hunger strikes and died during their imprisonments. Estefan left Cuba when he was a teenager but said it's difficult to watch the country where his relatives still live, suffer. The recent protests in Florida and Cuba pushed Estefan to advance the release of the music video. He said he hopes people watch the images, listen to the lyrics and help Cubans fight for freedom. I tell people in Cuba when people protest they don't say I'm hungry, they say I want freedom. That's why I wrote the song using that word. The word freedom is taken for granted in the United States, Estefan said. Follow Gabriela Miranda on Twitter, @itsGabbyMiranda.